YouTube is a platform and a service that I love, but it's been burning the goodwill of its user base for ages now. Here are its biggest problems. Number one, horrid comment sections on smaller channels. By smaller, I mean under 5 million subscribers, so we're pushing that a little bit, but their comment sections are pretty clean, usually generic jokes or inside jokes in the community, but once you cross that 5 million subscriber threshold, things get weird. It's generally bots saying stuff like, my videos are better than insert creator who made this video. Come check them out. But it does get worse than that with the bots that trying to rage bait. Like in Markiplier's comment sections where they say they're glad his dad's dead or other awful, horrid things. So how do we fix this one? In theory, it's very straightforward. Simply make the moderation tools already available to creators work, banning certain words or phrases, banning users and new accounts they might create with the same email address, that kind of thing. As right now, those tools, they don't actually work. And I'm sure it's more complicated than hitting a button to make them work, but at least put effort into it. It seems like they've been putting more effort into banning dislikes and silencing the community instead of, making positive changes for the good. Now, on to issue two, dislikes being gone. Now, we all know this one was coming, and it might be YouTube's most famous blunder. They insulted everyone's intelligence when they removed dislikes to protect creators from hate raids, which is ironic when looking at the bots I mentioned earlier, doing seemingly nothing about. But the actual reason YouTube removed dislikes seems to be because one of their videos was the most disliked on the platform, which really didn't look good to advertisers, when those videos are basically meant to be ads for the platform, instead of the community celebration that Rewind used to be. There is literally already an extension that adds dislikes back. Plus, the new CEO, this would be a really simple move for him to easily win over a large majority of the community and start building trust. Trust Susan, largely disregarded and destroyed. And finally, the most important, shady rule enforcement and shady rule creation. YouTube seems to have a habit of making new TOS changes secretly and quietly without notifying anybody beforehand, even though they're going to enforce the new rules, obviously. The most recent example is the swearing guidelines slash violent video game TOS changes, which literally make it sound like I'm talking about an angry middle-aged mom in 2010 and not a multi-billion-dollar platform, but whatever. Anyways, it took a YouTube creator digging around to find the actual changes, and even then, the wording was extremely vague, leading to creators still not really knowing what they are or aren't allowed to say or show anymore. YouTube seems to treat demonetizing creators as simple changes that mean nothing, but they're literally screwing around with someone's source of income, and they really need to start treating that with the weight it deserves. Start notifying creators of incoming changes with specific wording and examples. Let everyone know what is and isn't okay, instead of this weird shadow internet government stuff. And if the reason they're silent about changes is to avoid community backlash, then, well, maybe those changes aren't good ones in the first place. Now, obviously, YouTube has a lot more issues, definitely enough for a part two, but like their entire implementation of shorts. But if you want to hear more about that, click this video I made right here.